We leverage generative and artificial intelligence technology to really automate the entire workflow. So that means when you're an analyst operating within Databricks today and can use natural language processing in order to determine how to actually retrieve certain information, which particular results will work well in the market, there's the actual patient cohort segmentation. And also, if you want to build up those dashboards, they can build that automatically for you. You recently made a very big announcement and Data Summit 2025 on something called Agentbricks. Has anybody ever heard of Agentbricks?
Yeah,
Here's some what an agent is.
So we talked about it a little bit earlier today. Everyone's got slightly their own definition. So let's hear yours.
Okay, excellent. So an agent is going to be basically, I would say, a component that is able to do a task or actually be conversational and retrieve information. This is very different. We hear what a very technical aspect of what this actually is. But the idea is that in order to really reach the next stage of utilizing this kind of technology to retrieve insights from these very different disparate data sets, we're going to need agentic approaches. And you probably worked this with in the market very heavily. We made that recent series K-Raise as a company, and part of our major pitch to investors was specifically how do we build industry agents that retrieve information for things like portfolio management, to understand more about R&D for drug discovery, and actually uses to use knowledge graphs to extract that level of information. What we announced in Data Summit 2025 is now the ability to start building these agents using our Databricks technology via multiple Agentbricks, which allows you to combine stuff like document extraction. So you can pull information from SEC documents, as well as combining with other information that we could keep them like normal sources, like i2e symbol row for insurance claims. And we can also augment that all together with natural language processing, and we can chain those agents together using what's called a supervisor agent architecture. Basically, with Databricks today and what our clients are doing, from the Vertex pharmaceuticals that we're streaming the portfolio of data to now the more modern ones, where I can't talk about the other pharmaceuticals since they're still going from this, but to the more modern pharmaceuticals, we're now seeing them leverage industry agents themselves to do that same exact work that would have taken lasted number of analysts to do before. And this is what is very interesting. I'm seeing as a massive trend within the market itself is the concept of us looking at how we can actually leverage offshore resources and how we can also leverage agentic resources in order to satisfy these particular needs.
And so what I asked earlier, where we talked about FTE and start counting digital FTE.
Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting. So maybe go on to Jose, I'd say, from the scheduling, planning, resourcing, costing perspective, and then having that in one single tool, what's a cool real world case study that some of your customers have done?
So we started integrating Gen AI, and this is really our CEO, Joel Archite, right when it came out, where the challenger to the bigger tools, and we are the inheritor or replaced with the Project Online. So anybody has Project Online, PWA, please give us a call. We have a place to support you. With our tool or with other solutions. At the beginning, it's all very basic. We're just trying to help the stakeholder with analysis. And we did it in a very simple fashion also because of the regulatory constraints, security constraints, the architecture. You can't train on AWS. If you integrate Gen AI, you can't train on it. It has to be extremely restrictive. You have to have all the policies. So what we did, because we are Microsoft shops on Microsoft-centric cloud, we built our application on the Azure clouds. We literally inserted Azure OpenAI into the tool. So every stakeholder can open up, see some data, do a prompt, get a response, do some analysis. Early use cases is just a PM trying to, do a better step. Is doing analysis on the schedule, doing analysis on the resource plan. Where we're going, right now, it's more about improving the demand side of it and making sure that the business cases are complete. So Adobe Gen support that. And then what's coming in January is really integrating, bringing your agent. So for all of them, for you to have Copilot, you'll be able to have your own Copilot that you build, integrated with the one-plan data. And then that way you can actually control it, train it, and do anything you want with it. I'm participating in that, and it's really exciting what you see, because then you get really agentic. With the tools or within Copilot. So that's where we're going. And I will turn it over to Magnus, because we still haven't gotten to the magic button, which is, the $1 million question that everybody wants is to press the button and tell me, can I take on these projects and what is the resource forecast, and let it be accurate. That's really we can do that now, but to actually traverse that and do and do it accurately, it's not entirely there. It is. So
Yep. I would mess with it.
Oh, and oh my gosh, Jenny. So what we're doing, the first step, I guess, is improving interaction with output. So having like a copilot inside tool so that you can prompt it instead of knowing exactly which buttons be executed. Say, I want to know about this. The AI will provide that, or will do that sequence of activities to get the output. That's kind of where we are right now. And I guess that in about a month, I'll download this in a conference across them. And what I do is basically just have a portfolio inside the tool and be able to say, I want to go for all the oncology projects in this portfolio, but I haven't reached phase 2 yet. Lower the time or speed up the timeline by 20%, the increase in cost of 30%. And I've noticed that's going to take me close to 2035, the red-hand target. So things of that nature. And I quickly rock through 11 scenarios. So that's where we are right now. Speeding up or getting help with doing things faster, basically saving time.
I'm sorry, please show people. Do you mean seconds, minutes, or do you mean hours, days?
No, I'll do it. We have that position out on the stage.
No, I want to say also real time. So you're able to use a secure wave camera earlier. That's via the enabler. It's just shift a little bit. It's cloud YouTube.
Yes, yeah. It's so we spent an awful lot of time in the past 3 years to speed up our simulation engineering. Will be underneath this. You could ask any other to do. Here's the coding. Here's the set button fence. Give me how many monsters we're going to get with Rotus data, or give me the web get those outputs. We said if we make more nuanced analytics stuff for the AI to actually come up there more quick answers. So it'll use simulation engine and generate, let's say, 10,000 outputs from that portfolio and then analyze that data. Yeah, and from that with publish does that. Then go.
Well, the next question you guys sort of already answered, actually, is what is the future of that? But you sort of said the future of the next 6 months. I mean, Gente, whatever. Can you speak to the future? 2 to 3 years. Maybe the answer is go the heck knows. But where can you imagine your product enabling, or because we also talk about change is hard. So if anyone is going to invest in Databricks, OnePlanet, or Capterio, what are they investing in 3 years away from now? What can you imagine? Jose, start with you this time.
So, we do not believe that application, a source system application like a PMO, strategic core holiday management tool is going to go away. You're still going to need to have that interface, even if that's where the data ends up. Even if we're all working within a copilot or you're still going to have that source system where you're going to go to. So for a number of different reasons, regulatory, functional control, and so on. But having said that, they will be agentic in the sense that people have multiple workflows, multiple agents running. And even right now, you can, create ideas from the agent and it's populating stuff directly within our solution. And that can trigger notifications for approval. So you have all these things that are orchestrated. So in the end, everything that where a user needs to go to the source system could be done. Large number of use cases will be done within the actual Gen AI agent. Again, orchestrated with different other agents for resource planning, for financial planning, for modeling. We have a modeler right now, so it's they're trying to actually go to the modeler and come up with a solution and level projects, and resequence projects and resources. That will be render key by just making a font as out with, the questing nets. But again, you will still have to go to the source system to actually see what the bigger result.
So I'll immediately be modified about that and know, and that'll have an impact or project chance of success in that new way and so forth. I think that will be within a year. I think optimization will be a next thing for us where the AI is always, what you need in order to do that is, you need the data, the input data, timelines, costs, risks, value proposition inside. You need access to all that. You need to be able to put that AI to understand whether there are ways of grabbing that data natively within the cloud. So I always go, ingestion is a use case that shouldn't exist. I think within 3 years, ingestion will use case that would be strongly minimized in everybody's platform. Because when everybody's actually on board in this ecosystem, we don't have to ingest information.
Or actually experimenting and testing out their own, because unfortunately PMOs, and again, it depends on what part of the business you're in. It's might not be the most, leading edge where you're going to implement.
So agnostic to what are the first principles of what we need to do to be prepared today? Is it preparation of data? Is it preparation of our internal processes? We've offered some signals on that as well. So agnostic of tools, Matt.
A standard, what is an enterprise standard for your project lifecycle and have everybody agrees with? When we do an implementation that's kind of core, I heard the eviction area, it's millions. I mean, I go to think that, that's required, but does it mean the same to everybody? That's the taxonomy. Everybody fills out the form. They're like, wow, that's how you actually do a business case, and nobody fills out the form. The same lights data. Ain't there issues, and it has nothing to do with this. Obviously, that's been addressed throughout the comms. It has nothing to do with systems. That just has to do with internally your business architecture. They won't crumble, but you'll definitely falter. You'll falter. You won't be performing at the same rate as the leaders. You'll be a laggard. So, yeah, absolutely.
Figure out how they can actually reduce costs, how they actually improve total cost of ownership, how they actually improve time to insight, and very importantly, how they adopt things like fail fast methodology, the portfolio management itself. Now, I know there's a entire part about like the governance of these particular data sets. Well, this is actually really interesting. Who here knows about dieting? I'm going to go on a little bit of tangent if that's okay. Dieting, food dieting, right? So I used to work actually within MedBlocks to be a scientist. And one of our really great grants that we wrote was specifically about, hey, we actually are creating a drug specifically for weight loss. And the reason why we're doing this is because within the US market, there have been many fad diets for the last century, and not a single that's worked. Nobody can ever stick to a diet. I want to turn that back into data dictionary, data cleanliness. Every organization of Facebook actually are very clean and very good at their data, but once you speak to data organizations, you hear otherwise. At Databricks, what we realized is that trying to get somebody to clean their room, not very effective, especially as organizations grow in size. This is where industry agents are also going to come in. So when we talk about the technology being developed, open source to other folks to utilize, there's ability to actually read in data sets to figure out what use cases come out of them and have an actual semantic understanding of those data sets.
We believe that into what Magnus does, but not necessarily because, again, he's doing, how many, what did iterations on this, what do you want? Yeah, but it want, in order to get to, the scenario, the perfect scenario. So